since this is actually the first episode of Buzzerbeaters, where we'll invite founders like Thomas Adams here to tell us about a little bit about their stories, their entrepreneurial journey, and we'll also connect it with some TikTok gems, some really valuable advice for people who are listening to take from it. So make sure you open your notes, take some notes, and let's get it popping, or what they say. For today's topic, we'll talk about unlocking TikTok creator economy with community-led growth. And you're probably asking, okay, but how are we going to do it? So this is actually the format. Questions and claims will pop up on a screen, and we'll discuss them. And you guys who are listening can also comment and put some sub-questions as we're talking, or you can write down your questions because there will be a Q&A session at the end. What we want to give you from this is the practical tips and examples from our personal experience and our own perspective on situations and topics. So if you disagree with something, we would love to hear it because we would love to discuss it, and let's just keep it going. The topic of discussion for today will be, first we'll touch on the TikTok. So a little bit of introduction to the whole scheme we're having prepared later. Then probably Thomas's favorite topic here, which will be the most talked about, ambassador marketing combined with community building. And for the end, we'll try to see how the creator economy is evolving on TikTok and what can you do to use it in your marketing strategies. So who is Thomas Adams? Well, at 18, Thomas started his entrepreneurial journey. So Thomas, I'll give a short description here, and then I'd love to hear from you what I missed, okay? So he started his journey selling belt buckles. Like from the country where I'm from, they usually do that at the seaside, but you'll tell us where you did it. And he really went on from this to build or found now multi-million-dollar fashion brand, which is called Onepiece. You can check it on their website, like during the presentation or later. So yeah, all along, one thing Thomas understood really well was word of mouth marketing. And that led him to funding the other company you see on the screen called Brandbassador. This is an ambassador marketing tool that will enable or enables e-commerce brands to scale with community-led growth. And when we fast forward to 2022, where we are now, Brandbassador is already helping over 250 e-commerce challenger brands generate social buzz and drive revenue through a community of brand ambassadors. How was that, Thomas? Did I get everything right?
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just start off with the classic you're on mute opening. But,
I thought it's my problem, so yeah, I didn't say nothing.
yeah. No, I think you got most of it right. Yeah, the kind of my start of my entrepreneurial career was from my parents' basement, where I started off with belt buckles, and yeah, I got very passionate about marketing, and that kind of led me into more e-commerce and Onepiece and the jumpsuits, and we built some tools there that kind of spun out to Brandbassador. So yeah, I think you got it more or less correct.
Awesome. And now this is the first question for you.
Awesome, cool. Thomas, first, I'm super excited to actually meet you and talk to you. And we'll actually start off with some stories, because I think when you talk with some marketer or some founder, business owner, I think the most exciting thing about it is to tell the story of the journey. So the first question for you would be like, what's your favorite story that you would be able to share with us from your journey so far?
Well, yeah, there's been a few fun stories. Well, one of the first stories kind of before like from the very beginning, and when I just started my belt buckle company, my first kind of meeting with word of mouth marketing was at a after ski here in Norway, and I paid the DJ $50 or something to just ask him, can I use the microphone? Can I use the microphone for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds? He's like, no, you can't use the microphone. I asked, okay, but and I gave him like 500 kroners, which is like $50. If I could use the microphone for 15 seconds. And I took the microphone, and in front of like a full after ski party, I just said the name of my website, which was beltbuckles.com, like, and I said just that on repeat just like 10 times. Everyone was like, what the hell is going, like, what is this, like, and this was at the time that belt buckles were very hot, like in fashion, like, they wanted them as big, the kids wanted them, the bigger the better, the more diamonds and spinner dollar signs and LED lights, like the more tacky the belt buckle was, the better it was. And that was kind of, and I saw that trend really, really growing. And I just opened my website. I hadn't done any marketing yet. And then, when I did that just in front of like, say 300-400 people, that next week, I saw just the influx of orders right away. So I kind of got to feel that value of just speaking directly to people, and that actually people pay attention just to things that are being said when it's, one person to another kind of thing.
Wow.
That was one funny story. Another funny story was when we had started Onepiece and we were launching it in the US. Me and my business partner were going to LA. We were opening a store in Beverly Hills, and we had just watched the Social Network. Remember that movie with Mark, like
yeah. And it shocked the world.
It shocked the world, but at the same time, just like an inspiring story in a way, just like how someone from a dorm room, like a nerd from a dorm room, could just like, build the biggest company in the world in a matter of years, kind of thing. So it was quite inspiring for us at that time to kind of see how that was possible. Like, you didn't need to be like an industrial, magnet to kind of to do that. It's possible for anyone. And we came to LA. And we got a meeting with the manager of Justin Bieber, and we were sitting talking to him for like, 10, 15, 20 minutes. We had seen the value of the way that we had done like, marketing with bloggers. Like, this was before like Instagram influencers, and this was, I think, can't remember, back in 2011, I think, 2011, I think it was. And we had seen the value of working with bloggers in Norway. We had one of the biggest bloggers in Norway post about. She had her own, just like a blog website, right? So just not Instagram, not YouTube, not blog, not TikTok, just like a website where she posted stuff, like a natural, normal blog. And she just like drove amazing amounts of sales for us. And, she kind of propelled the start of the company in so many ways. We hired her to work in our store, just like for 1 hour a day, and we paid her, I can't remember, like 1,500 euros an hour or something, for her to come and work there an hour. And there was like a line outside the store when she came to work at the store. So it was more like a way to get attention. So when we got to LA, we really wanted to find someone that could kind of do the same. Norway's a small country, right? 5 million people. There's one blogger, everyone knew who she was. Then we came to the US, and then, okay, who does everyone know who is? Well, Justin Bieber. So 2011, and then we got a meeting with the manager, and after like 15 minutes, we had kind of agreed that we were going to launch it together with him and Justin in the US, to do like a joint venture in the US. And we're just kind of, and me and my business partner went into their bathroom to take a piss, and we were just standing there pissing and looking at each other. I was like, oh my God, like we couldn't like it, but it felt like that moment in the Social Network movie when they have that dinner with Sean Parker. Yeah. And Sean Parker comes in, just like, just blows their mind, kind of thing. So it was a fun episode, and a big moment for us. And yeah, we did launch it with them as a kind of like a joint venture, and had a good run in partnership with them, and that was a fun moment for sure.
Wow, so inspiring, right, Jure?
Yeah, man, it's like, it's such a cool story.
Awesome. Love it, really love it.
Yeah, it was funny.
Cool, Thomas. So sounds like you had a lot of interesting adventures along the way, but let's just slowly move into this year. So we all know, like in digital marketing, e-commerce, SaaS businesses, that last couple of months and also years have been changing has produced a change for the whole industry. So talking about like some wins and maybe also some biggest challenges that you have this year, if maybe we can touch upon it, if this is okay with you.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think for us, it's a big milestone. We've passed $10 million in ARR, annual recurring revenue for the company, which is, a big win. It's quite a tough milestone to reach. And a lot of SaaS companies struggle kind of coming past. They say like the 10 million is like this barrier, and it's very, very hard to kind of reach that barrier. We've been able to do that with a fantastic team. So that's definitely a very big win for us.
And how long was it since the start?
Well, we launched the first kind of beta in early 2018 kind of thing. So
okay. Awesome. Super fast.
It's been like four years or so. But me and my business partner, we knew nothing about building a SaaS company. So we've really made a lot of mistakes along the way and learned a lot along the way. And it's been a fantastic journey where I think we've both been educated educated well and educated a lot over the past 4 years.
Hey, Thomas, sorry, please continue.
No, go.
Did you have also some mentors that actually help you start the SaaS company, or who is actually the people or the person that you could actually rely on at the start?
Yeah, I think we started off with some seed investors. So a lot of the funding initially kind of came from Onepiece. So Onepiece was the one kind of founding a lot of the initial ideas behind Brandbassador and kind of starting the launch of it. And then when we took it out of Onepiece and started as a separate company, we brought on board some seed investors. And to mention a couple of them was Jörn Lee Sagan who's the founder, and now he's the chairman. He was a founder and CEO of Meltwater, which is also a SaaS company. They do like media intelligence. They gather breadcrumbs and put together reports for companies and stuff like that. But he's built bootstrapped a fantastic company from $15,000 in share capital, and they were on the stock exchange now, worth I'm not sure how many hundreds of millions of dollars, but it's 2,000 employees and offices in 6 countries and stuff like that. So for him, he has definitely been a mentor for Ollie, my business partner, and myself, in terms of building culture, building a sales team, a sales organization. And I think kind of just being true to a bit of that. You hear so many things, right? Especially from like investors and funds and executives in different businesses and COOs here and CMOs there and whatever. Everyone has and someone has lots of experience, of course, in these roles. But when you're a founder, you need to kind of just like have that gut feeling, that vision, and that believe, and that and believe in yourself as well, that if you start listening to what everyone else is telling you to do all the time, then you start kind of just being a machine of input, and you're not kind of following your initial idea behind it. So I think Jörn has kind of been that inspiration to all of me. Just kind of remember that you guys are actually quite good at what you do, and this like initial thing about marketing, you guys are great to marketeers, and you should build the company the way that you guys feel is the right way to do it. So I think that's been an important kind of lesson along the way, where you get a lot of input, of course, a lot of valuable input as well, but a lot of input that can also distract you. So yeah,
more power to the people like that, right?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. So if we're picking one topic for today that's like kind of a challenge also for you, it would be this one. Now, we are not even supposed to be called experts ourselves, even though we are in the business, because the platform is just so new and things are happening really fast. We're like in the eye of the tornado right now, just learning and seeing whatever's popping in our minds and trying to put it in practice. And we're curious about some topics here, how you see them and what your like observation of them is. And I will start with this one. So Instagram versus TikTok. This is a very popular topic. When you like want to compare TikTok to a platform, you compare it to the most like visual one we have so far. But it's funny because it's not YouTube, but it's Instagram, because YouTube is kind of not of a social platform, but Instagram is. So I won't go any further. I would love you for you to touch on this topic and just like try to compare them. How do you see them?
I think one has a bit more of a, if you want to call it like a Asian web vibe to it in a way. And by that, I mean that it's a bit more, if you look at, for example, e-commerce in the Western world compared to Asia, the Western world is a lot more like transactional and, very focused on transactions and not so much fun. And so it's a bit more formal in a way. And if you look at online websites in Asia, China specifically, but Asia in general, actually, they're about a bit more fun and engaging, and they're not so strict on things need to always have this, look exactly like this, and the funnel goes like that, and always, push people this way. It's a bit more like a bit more fun and engaging, and doesn't always look so formal, if you can use that word. It's a bit more casual and a bit more fun and engaging. I think that's kind of the first thing that where I see the difference. And if you look from a brand perspective, like on Instagram, brands tend to kind of put their best foot forward in a way, and their polished foot forward, and kind of this brand image. So on their Instagram, they have restrictions on what they can post on their Instagram feed. It's just take my own brand, for example, Onepiece. Like, we try to get high quality content that we've spent thousands of dollars on ourselves in terms of photo shoots and stuff like that. While on TikTok, it's a bit more loose. It's a bit more, you can post kind of anything is allowed. There's no like, oh, it has to be like this. Like, I think that's kind of the main difference. Like TikTok, everything is allowed, and on Instagram, brands tend to it's become more like a showroom of the brand, while TikTok is just like, the showroom of their users in a way. So I think that's one of the main differences that I see.
Yeah, 100%. Like I heard an example, I think it was Gary Vee who said it. Like Instagram feeds should, like what he loves about TikTok is that the feed doesn't have to look like an art gallery in order to be like successful. And I think this is what you're kind of saying here, and I agree 100%. What about you, Jure?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's a great point of view. And actually want to jump in with one question, Thomas. When did you actually see the opportunity on the TikTok platform as a business for Onepiece and for Brandbassador? And what was actually the point, what happened on the market that you say, okay, this is the right move, guys, we need to take this seriously, and you created like this executional plan for it?
Well, I think I think in terms of, I can't really remember when we started on TikTok in terms of when we got our first username. I think we might even been when it was like Musical.ly that we got the username there early. But I don't think we started to populate until quite recently, actually. And I think that, that's just kind of more us kind of dropping the ball on it rather than not being, like more than a strategic decision. I think we were just a bit late we got the username early, but then we kind of maybe lacked the experience in-house to really go out and do it, because it's something completely new. I think a lot of brands are experiencing that. I think that's why like an agency like what you guys are starting here is very interesting, because it is a new ball game. It's not just the average Instagram, okay, post our photo shoot content, right? It's all about engaging the community to really go out there and create content for you, and also build up under, create a platform for them to build content for you. And you need to understand how that all works, like what in terms of what songs to use, and if should you do a dance or should you do this or that, right? You gotta have a creative team that really understands how to engage a community to go out and create content for it. Because if you're just going to post your own Polish content, it's never going to fly. So yeah.
So I think you actually just started answering the next question, which was this one.
Yeah.
How would you describe TikTok to a business partner is what we've heard right now.
Yeah.
Now just try to tell us how you would describe it to a friend. Like your friend, like, go on TikTok. Why?
Oh, well, it's extremely, don't go on TikTok because it's just extremely addictive. You just end up like, you know, I don't even know what happens. Like you go on TikTok and you just end up like, okay, this is crazy. And then you just sit and you just scroll for half an hour because it's actually really, really fun to sit and look at it. And it's just, you know, you can see that people really put a lot of time and effort into a lot of the content that's created there. And you can see that the, you know, creative community really comes to play. And I think that's a fun thing about TikTok. I think if you look at marketing in general, you know, digital marketing in the last 10 years, when I started Onepiece in 2009, it was all about being creative, all about doing things differently. You know, when we started our first Facebook group, that was like, oh, wow, why did you start a Facebook group? Facebook is for people, like people, not for brands. And you know, we always try to come up with new fun ways to kind of get, you know, attention. This is back to the, you know, the flash mobs, right? Flash mob dancing in shopping centers, like anything you could do that can kind of get attention. But if you look at marketing, digital marketing last, yeah, maybe just especially the last like 5-6 years, I would say has become a lot extremely metric driven. It's all about performance marketing, tuning these levers, you know, to get your CPL up or down or whatever. And yeah, it can kind of be like a bank analyst sitting there doing your performance marketing for you. And a lot of the creativeness has disappeared. And I think that's why it's become so extremely competitive. But the thing with TikTok is that it's, you know, it's about creative people really blossoming. Like it's and I think that's why people find it addictive, because people, like, you know, creative people are fascinating. It's interesting to see the ideas they come up with, and they can, you know, I think it kind of brings the kid out in everyone in a way. It kind of reminds you of the way you used to think when you were a child in a way. So I think it's a really addictive platform is what I would say to a friend, but it's a lot of fun, and it's yeah, you can come across a lot of great content and get a lot of cool ideas as well.
Yeah, people hate me for being on TikTok so much.
Yeah,
like, just like, guys, did you see this TikTok? And they're like, just shut up, man.
Yeah, no, but it's definitely the next it's the next big thing in terms of marketing. We can see that with Brandbassador as well, that a lot of our brands are moving more and more towards TikTok and really, you know, getting momentum there. So that's for sure where the action is happening now. Again,
you've directed us to the next question.
Great job, Thomas.
You want to take the lead here?
Yeah. Thomas, before we actually jump on this question, would you say that throughout your career in business and marketing, you were actually always curious about like finding a new thing, or maybe something that is not super measurable first, but, you know, like the midterm and long-term impact of it? Because where you were actually telling the story about grabbing the microphone, or you were actually building a group. So you were the early adopter in this kind, or you were creative around like what kind of types of marketing you can actually use. Would you consider yourself actually chasing the things that maybe are not super measurable first, but you know that on the midterm and long term can create like a strong impact to the brand or the community?
Yeah, I think, you know, things that are super measurable are also tend to be quite obvious in a way. So, you know, if they're very easy to measure, they're also quite obvious marketing strategies and ways to do things. You know, Google AdWords is extremely obvious and, you know, extremely easy to track. You know, I've seen, you know, hands-on myself how valuable it is to build a community and for that community to go out and talk about it. And I've seen hands-on that doing fun creative marketing stunts drives a lot of value for our brand. Engaging a community, engaging consumers more than just sending out a newsletter once a week, twice a week. I think brands now send them out 3 times a week. You know, there's a lot more that can happen between the consumer and the brand than just that. And the consumer likes to be involved, right? They like to be involved with the brands that they love. It's an emotional connection, and yeah, I've always loved to do like creative things. Of course, I want to be able to measure them, but I think at the end of the day, you can always measure that, your traffic to your website increases, or at the end of the day, like you don't want to sit and do tons of marketing stunts that your sales aren't increasing. Oh yeah, but still it's
it looks good.
It looks good. It's great. People love it. But yeah, if it's not driving revenue, it doesn't really matter. So at the end of the day, it has to drive revenue, and everyone can track the revenue on their website. And yeah, we did, for example, a really fun campaign, I remember, which we called Hack the Price. You can check out hacktheprice.com. We did that campaign a few times actually. And what that was that we engaged our entire community of customers and everything. We said our most popular one-piece jumpsuit was like $189 or something. And we said that everyone who went into the website and shared it on Twitter and Facebook and left their email, they could collectively hack down the price by like 0. There you go, hack the price. Yeah, I think this is the last campaign. The first campaign we did was pretty wild, but could hack the price down by like 0.1 cent or something per time someone did that over 72 hours. So we said, guys, you have 72 hours to get all your friends and your mom and dad and everyone to just go in here and share this website on Facebook or Twitter. Every time you do that, it will be hacked down by 1, and then we could see the numbers going up, of course, of people sharing, and then the price of this product going down. We put the price, like the minimum price, down to $69 or something, which was like our cost or whatever plus a margin. So we couldn't hack further down to that, but that was still like 70% discount or whatever. And we got like that first campaign, I think we got like 40,000 people or something to share it. So event went really viral, and we got all their email addresses. We sent out an email to them afterwards saying, hey, thanks for this. You were able to hack the price down to $78 or whatever they ended up with, and they got a discount code to go and buy the product for that price. So that kind of like consumer marketing, engaging marketing, people really like that. So to answer that question, yeah, I do love creative kind of long-term marketing. That has an effect, and you can track it right away as well, which of course, if you have that element to it, it's really good. Yeah,
I really love the approach. Congrats on that one, man.
This is epic.
Awesome. If we connect this to what right now are your plans at Brandbassador about like implementing like the TikTok platform, the creators on TikTok. So what are the plans for the future that you actually want to do?
Well, we're kind of just kicking it off over the past 12 months kind of thing. And we have different mission opportunities that you can do on the platform. You can get your community to create TikTok videos for you, and automate that whole process on the app. And TikTok is opening a bit more APIs, making it a bit more trackable in terms of number of views and the value of what's being created and stuff like that. So we're just kind of monitoring the situation and trying to come up with new cool features. But right now it's mainly this feature of sharing TikTok content and creating TikTok content. Of course, also growing your following for TikTok. But we really see the brands, what's bringing a lot of value is getting their whole community to go out there and create content for them. Because if the brand creates all their content, puts on TikTok, it's not really a real TikTok account. You need to get your community to create TikTok content for you.
Awesome.
And what about Onepiece? As we can see on the screenshot here, like it looks a lot more personal, and this looks like a TikTok feed, first of all. And I see you got some pretty good views. I checked the videos though. You guys hop on their TikTok page and check the videos. They're awesome. But what's the what was kind of I know you probably weren't the one who said, okay, do this kind of stuff on TikTok. But what would you say was like the strategy? How should we use TikTok? What would you say?
No, I don't think we have a lot of rules on the Onepiece side in terms of like what we can post or not. I think it's just like be open. Like don't have all these branded guidelines and this and that. Just be more open to the community creating content. I think that's one of the main things that we're doing, like compared to Instagram, where we have much more rigid control system in terms of what we post. On TikTok, it's a bit more open. It makes it more fun and engaging for the community, and they connect more with it. So I think that's kind of the main and most important part.
Awesome. From this, we're switching to a more preferred topic, but like I didn't expect such good conversation around TikTok. So good job on that, guys. I really love it. There were some proper value bombs in there, especially the website you put in. So Hack the Price, guys. I put it in the chat if somebody wants to take a look. And now we're moving to ambassador marketing, and this is something that really I owe a lot of success of the brands I worked with too. And like even collabing with Brandbassador, the platform, which we'll talk about later on, was a big part of that success. So this is a topic where it just comes down to this question first, like, what does ambassador marketing mean to you?
Yeah, no, it's a topic I'm passionate about. Ambassador marketing for me is really just tapping into the value of your brand community. And when I talk about your brand community, that is everyone that follows you on any social media channel, anyone who's ever been your customer, anyone who's in your newsletter list, anyone who's ever shown any kind of interest for your brand whatsoever, that is your community. Tapping into that is extremely valuable. We've seen this with Facebook. As I mentioned earlier, when we started our first Facebook group, we had like 120,000 members on our Facebook group, while H&M had, I'm not even sure they had started a Facebook group yet at that point. It was before it was even called pages. It was like still called groups, and we would ask our group of followers to change their profile picture to our like a zipped up one piece. It's like a one piece is a hoodie and a sweatpants sewn together as a jumpsuit basically, and you can zip the hoodie all the way up for people who doesn't know what it is. And we asked them to change. We just like put a picture out of a zipped up jumpsuit, so it could basically be anyone. And we said, change your profile picture to this, and you can win. You'll see everyone who does it within the next 24 hours, and you can win a free jumpsuit. So the free jumpsuit cost us, $30 or $40 or whatever, and we got like out of those 120,000, 25,000, 30,000 people would change their profile picture to this. Like, it was incredible. Like in the group, everyone we saw in the group was just like the same profile picture all the way down. Wow. And that was because we were actually able to reach them. When we posted this, they actually saw it. And of course, when the algorithms for Facebook, when people changed their profile picture, that was like one of the algorithms that would show up in a lot of their friends. It was an important occasion. Changing your profile picture was an important part. So a lot of people, it spread to a lot of people.
Why do you think they did it? Like, why did they say, okay, I want to jump on this trend? I don't think it was just winning the jumpsuit.
I think of course they thought probably the picture was a funny thing, like that might have been it. But to be honest, I think it was a big part of it that the jumpsuits were 200. We started selling with $220, $230, so they were quite expensive. And it was a big hype back in Norway, and everyone wanted one. And here was a chance to get a free one just by changing your profile. And no one put any today profile picture. Oh my God, people need to plan for a profile picture for 2 months, right? And it's just like changing your profile picture is a big deal. Choosing your new profile picture, big deal. Back then, people was like, who gives a shit? Like, profile picture here, there, it doesn't matter. So they just threw that out. But my main point was that today, so we really saw the value. If you're able to communicate directly to these people, engage these people directly, it's extremely valuable. Today, we have 10 times as many followers on our Facebook page. We have over 1.2 million, I think, or close to 1.2 million followers. If we post something today, like, we get 5 likes, 10 likes, and the reason is because just Facebook and Marcus just turned down all the algorithms. So now we have to pay to reach these people. So you have all these brands that spent, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars building up their community on this platform that they don't even own their community. These people, the only thing it is just putting all these people that knew their brand into a place, and now they've lost it. So unless they pay tons of money. So we've really seen the value of ambassador marketing through our initial Facebook group. And that's also what Brandbassador is about, is bringing, building your community in a place where, we are all about engaging that community to go out and drive sales and revenue for you. So ambassador marketing is really, it's about engaging your community, and that is everyone who has some kind of relationship to your brand.
Wow. So we're talking about ambassadors. When you say ambassador, do you mean also influencers and creators? Like, there is this common saying that goes like this: ambassador is worth more than an influencer, that is worth more than a creator. So basically, you start as a creator, you become an influencer, then you become an ambassador. Would you say this is true, or should we see some kind of different observation of this?
No, I think for us, an ambassador can be anyone. Like, it doesn't matter. It could be anyone. It could be an influencer with 1 million followers, 2-3 million followers. It could be an influencer with 1,000 followers. It could be a creator. The way I look at it is that there's 110 million people on Instagram with more than 1,000 followers. Most people don't have 1,000 followers on Instagram. Like, in my group of friends, most people have, average Joe has 300, 400, 500 friends on Instagram. And of course, you have people that maybe are actors or entrepreneurs, or just super social, or wants to be an influencer or whatever. And that's kind of when you start tipping over the 1,000. Like, that's okay. If you have more than 1,000 friends that you haven't bought, then there's something interesting about you over just the average Joe in a way. And that's kind of where influencer starts for me in a way. Like, when you kind of have that, that's when the word influencer. Of course, you can say that everyone is an influencer, because everyone has influence to some extent. Even if you only have 400 friends on Instagram, you still influence those 400 friends to some extent, in some decisions, hopefully. But for me, influencers, it starts at basically at 1,000, and it just goes up. And of course, when you start and you have, out of those 110 million, I would say 99.99% haven't made it. Like, they're not like what we kind of mean by an influencer, which is someone that basically that's their job. Like, they live from being an influencer. They get paid $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 for posts. They might have an agent that helps them with the stuff, closes deals for them with brands and so on and so forth. And they basically, this is their full-time job, and they live off it. 99.99% of those 110 million are not there, but the rest of them, which is 109 million something, they're all climbing the ladder, wanting to get and becoming that, they want to become an influencer. And on that road there's still a lot of content to be created, and in my opinion, a lot more valuable content.
Sorry,
yep,
a question just popped in.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget it because it's a good one. So do you think, like, when a platform like TikTok comes around, is this an opportunity to kind of reset the definition who an influencer is, and gives basically an opportunity for someone who was now watching these influencers grow, as you say, from 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 to 1 million followers? Like, do you think when TikTok comes around, like, people are like, okay, I don't want to miss out now, so I'm going all in on the platform, and I want to be a TikTok influencer now?
No, very good question. I think you yeah, no, you're definitely, I think you're right in terms of, yeah, the answer is yes. I think it changes. Like, I see every time a new kind of social network pops up, you will see that there's new, like, it kind of playing field is leveled. Like, suddenly there's, because there, before if there's a big, if you're big on Instagram, you tend to like stay on Instagram. Then you see this small platform grow, coming, bum, and the people that kind of put their eggs in the TikTok basket 3, 4, 5 years ago, haven't really gotten a lot of value from it, maybe up until maybe the last 3 years kind of thing, right? And you see massive TikTokers that, you know, they don't even have an Instagram account. So it's definitely, and then kind of the Instagrammers jump from Instagram over to TikTok and try to kind of, you know, build their account there, and some of them do it successfully, some of them don't. But every time a new social network like TikTok kind of explodes, it's definitely leveling the playing field and introduces a lot of new influencers, and just different influencers, like in a different way. Like, you know, we have a massive influencer in Norway. Her job is to just, like, what she does is, like, she eats candy and, like, she eats candy and ice cream. Like, that's her every video of her just, like, eating candy and ice cream. One, like, it's just there's so many different, and that, you know, it's for brands that do candy and ice cream, they, you know, they love her, right? She has millions of followers and you know, hundreds of millions of views. So no, for sure.
I mean, if you want to be successful in the long term, you got to be unique. Like, even like if you're a brand, a creator, influencer, or an ambassador, the more unique you are and the more you are aware of that uniqueness, combining it with, like, being able to storytell and have some selling skills, the more, like, business opportunities brands will give you. Like, that's how I see it. And I think, like, when it comes to who is more, I would say that this equation does not stand, because every creator can become an ambassador. It's just the terms of definition. But, like, if you are not a creator, can you be an influencer or ambassador on TikTok? The answer is no. So it really comes down to this, because on Instagram, it was more like post a picture with the product, get a lot of likes, get a lot of reach, and you're an influencer. Now on TikTok, post a video, like, doesn't matter how many followers you got, doesn't matter how well your previous videos performed. If you fail to put out interesting content, brands won't work with you. Like, like, you can fail in the ambassador and influencer part. So really, this is just for some people who are listening, or anybody that's, like, becoming a creator, like, working on storytelling skills and selling skills. I don't think it's ever been as important as it is on this platform. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and yeah, it's all about the content on TikTok. Like, you know, their algorithms is all about how many milliseconds did people look at that video, how many people swipe back up again after swiping down. Like, you know, it's all about, like, how interesting was this video, how good was this video for the person that just viewed it. And of course, the more interesting it is, the more addictive it is, the more view it gets, and then the more spread it gets. I remember I saw a view of, like, the TikTok, like, an algorithm of how they kind of rated the content. And it was just really fascinating how there was, like, all these factors that played in to kind of decide if this was valuable content or not, and if it was content that people paid attention to, that people liked.
Yeah. Yuri, you want to add something on this topic?
Yeah, maybe I would just add what you guys were discussing. I was just thinking about, like, the redefinition, or how it actually broadened the possibilities of someone just becoming an influencer or creator. Because I think on Instagram, there are some, like, 5 to 8 different personas about, like, what kind of influencer you will be. And there are some role models on the platform that basically majority of them follows and maybe copy paste them. So you actually didn't get the diversity. And when I look at, like, TikTok and what kind of different influencer there are, I think it's really awesome to actually see how it's also expanding the opportunities. What Thomas was mentioned, like, one girl just eating the candies, and some companies and some niches that maybe didn't have a chance to work with influencers before because they weren't in the niches that was relevant for them. I think it's, like, just booming super right now, and there are so much opportunities for businesses and also for the creators, because, like you mentioned, if you have this creativity inside you, you really have the opportunity. And I think it's also, like, redefines, like, the term of the influencer, because I think we were just connecting the word influencer to Instagram. So what kind of influence you had on Instagram. And right now you're an influencer on TikTok. What Thomas was mentioning also was how you can also influence like someone just speaking about the product, sending the email, sharing this on Twitter, sharing this on Facebook. So I really love like where this approach and this industry is moving with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, and then we talked about ambassadors. I think Jure, the last thing you were talking about are the ambassadors. So someone who's willing to share the voice about a brand on any platform. And the brand becomes like kind of the core, not actually, I want to post this so I can get some money out of it or anything. But being an ambassador means that you like the brand you work with. And why should brands use Brandbassador, and how does it help with ambassador marketing if we look at ambassador marketing as this way?
No, it kind of comes back to the earlier topic where I was talking about Facebook and the community that we built there. Like, Brandbassador was built to really as an answer to the fact that we weren't able to engage our community anymore on Facebook. Like, we had a massive community there, and we weren't really able to engage them anymore. And we also wanted to create a bit more of like a closer connection between the brands and their community, not like through a Facebook platform, but like, more direct kind of community sense. And that's basically what Brandbassador does. Like, it lets you build a community on the platform, lets you transfer community onto the platform. And then my main passion and my business partner's main passion, like where we come from, is, we're marketeers. We got, hundreds of or millions of people actually to walk around in onesies, like baby onesies for adults. We sold baby onesies to adults for over $200 million. We're very passionate about consumer psychology and what makes people buy something, and why people are influenced and how they're influenced. So for us, like, our main passion and our main goal with Brandbassador is to just create cool features and tools that brands can give to this community, for that community to go out there and create awareness. And awareness will always trickle down into whatever your main KPI is. If it is to drive sales, if it is to drive downloads or signups or this or that, like, first of all, you need awareness. And that's basically what we do at Brandbassador. Like, right now, you can, we have the missions that you can create on Brandbassador, where you could say to your community to create content on TikTok, and we will reward you with cash or store credit or free products or whatever, and we automate that process. So we have brands who've given out, like, over the last 5 years, one of the brands that have been with us the most, I think they've given out like closer to 100,000 products through our platform in return for social media content. So, and our app platform automates that process. So that's one of the missions that you could do, is like, we'll send you a free product. In return, we want you to post it on your social media account, kind of thing. And that is one mission that we automate. And then the mission could be for you to just share content that we have created on your account. It could be to, instead of us going to paying Mark Zuckerberg 20,000 euros to promote our post on our Facebook wall, we could post on our Facebook page and then ask our community to share that organically on their Facebook page, and then, or on their with their friends on Facebook. And we could pay them based on how many followers they have. So we can pay them dynamically based on how many followers they have, either in cash or store credits. So, like, automating that process. But it could also be, offline stuff, right? Our business partner Ollie tried to get into Selfridges in London, the department store, which is like, very like Harrods upscale luxury the department store, and they didn't want to sell our baby onesies for adults next to Chanel and Louis Vuitton. So they said no. And Ollie was calling them. They're like, no, emailing, no. Then we created a mission for our ambassadors in London. We have 300-400 of them, and we said, hey, go to Selfridges, take a picture when you're there as proof, and ask them if they have Onepiece. And then we got like a couple of hundred people submitted a picture from themselves, and then we said, like, you get $50 for doing that in store credits, right? And with a gross margin of 70, that ends up not being that much in cash. And we got a couple hundred people doing it, and then Selfridges ended up calling Ollie, my business partner, saying, hey, your suits are blowing up. Everyone's asking about it now. We need to stock this. So we had a launch with Bjorn Borg actually, and Onepiece launching in Selfridges at the same day. So it could be used for so many different things, but it's all about automating the process and being able to do at scale. So if you're going to work with 5 influencers, go to an agency. If you're going to work with 50, 100, 200, just then go to an agency or do something else. But if you want to really engage that brand community that's out there, the people that you're sending newsletters to and the people that are buying your product and following you on social media, there's thousands of them, and that's where we can really help you.
Wow, that's amazing, man. And like, really check out Brandbassador. We'll like, if some of you guys want to hop in, you can also send us an email when we connect you to the team at Brandbassador. Amy, Maeve, like, you have some amazing people working there, and like, it's really a pleasure to just talk to them. And I can really see how creative you are as like a founder in terms of attention arbitrage and seeking opportunities, like those windows. Like, how can I get someone's attention? Like the story you were just talking about, like, calls don't help, emails don't help. Okay, what can I do? Use my community. And this is like, this is a super cool story. You should share it more. Like, if you go on some podcast, this is an awesome story.
Thank you.
Yeah. So brings us to our next topic, which is really connected to the previous one. And I'll let Jure hop on the questions for this one. And we'll start with
this one. I think I'll actually maybe combine this one with the next one.
Cool.
So Thomas, let's say, in a lot of cases, people are either thinking about, okay, I want to start the community super early when I start a business, or they say, okay, I'll build up the community when I have some traction on the market. So let's say you're pitching the idea. Let's say you're working in-house in a marketing department and say, okay, I want to convince the leadership team or the founder to build the community. So how would you actually pitch that? Keeping in mind that might be that the business owner is conservative about, like, yeah, we only have 5 products, what we're going to talk about, like how we're going to communicate with our community. So what do you see is usually the biggest needle mover? Why brands are starting it, and why do you think it makes sense to not only focus on the sales first and build a community later, or you would do that?
Yeah, and I think the first thing you need to do is focus on sales. Like, I think that's like, you need to get out there and see that your product deserves a life, kind of thing, and can pay the bills, keep the lights on. So I think that's definitely, don't spend your money on building a community until you're paying your power bills and internet bills and making a bit of a profit, kind of thing. But so you need to kind of, everything kind of comes at a time, and it's hard to build a community if there's really no community to pick from, kind of thing. People need to have your product. You need to kind of get it out there to some extent. But there's a lot of brands there that has thousands of people in their customer databases that they only send out a newsletter to. That's the only kind of customer relationship they have. They might have a customer loyalty thing where you get points for every order you put in, and great. But like the marketing towards your customers, I think 99% of brands, the only thing they're doing is sending a newsletter. And that's why I think it's really, really important. And there's so much more to be done there, and so much more value to be driven from that. And in terms, so building a community comes from your customer database. I think that's number one. Newsletter database and social media platforms, recruiting them into a community, and then you need to kind of it's a bit of a, you need to kind of work on different platforms, right? Because you need to build a community on TikTok. You need to build up your TikTok account. You need to build up your Instagram account. You need to, maybe you're doing Twitter. I don't know. A lot of brands don't do that. Of course, your customer database is number one. That's the most important, because that's where the money comes in. But I think what's really valuable with Brandbassador, and where that kind of comes into play here, is that you we are all about building a community on Brandbassador, and then as different kind of social media networks pop up, or now, for example, you guys are doing doing the TikTok thing because it's really hot. But if we look down the line in 10 years, it's likely that there might be a new completely new platform. Right now Instagram has ruled for the past 10 years, and here's a new one probably going to rule for the next 10 years, and then maybe in 10 years there's going to be something completely different again, most likely. And then kind of our 1.2 million followers on Facebook is just like they're gone in a way. Like we have so
it's
little,
like a medal, huh?
yeah, it's like they're just like, it's just like a place with some names, but it doesn't really do anything for us. Instagram is still valuable, and TikTok we see is booming. So the thing about Brandbassador is that you can build your community in a place where we will also always be working towards building out features where that enables that community to go out and drive awareness for you. And our main focus now is really building out those tools for TikTok and coming up with features and cool things to do on TikTok, because that's where we see a lot of value being created. But Brandbassador is platform agnostic. It doesn't matter, like if you can come onto the platform, then you link your TikTok and your Instagram and all your social networks, but like it doesn't matter what platforms out there are booming, kind of thing. So yeah, that's there's a risk in putting too much money into building a community when you're not in kind of control of how you can engage with that community down the line.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Hey Thomas, if you would like to say you would start Onepiece again today, and you said that you would first focus on the sales, and let's say what would be the point of the sales, or maybe the size of the business, that you would say, okay guys, we're building a community, and you say, okay, we need to use Brandbassador because it's the greatest tool out there. So when will this time be? So what would be like the size of the business, or how would you actually make this decision? And what would be the dedication from your side? Would you say, okay, we have this one girl that does social media and she will also use Brandbassador and she'll figure it out? Or how would you actually approach it if you would start from scratch with the knowledge you have right now and you have the tool like a Brandbassador on the back end?
Yeah, I think it's very, very different. Like we're discussing this today, like in Brandbassador, like what's our main ICP and kind of where like how many followers does a brand need to have to kind of be successful on Brandbassador? How many customers do they need to have to be successful on Brandbassador? But the more I think about it, the more we discuss it, it's kind of like it's so dependent on the company and the brand and the product. Like you can have a brand with only 1,000 customers, like you're just starting off, but it's just like you can just feel this like super momentum. It's growing really fast. All your customers super engaged, and you're just like, okay, this is going to be super successful. You send out email to those 1,000, 25-50% signs up to your community. Okay, this is going to be easy. But then you might have a brand with 100,000 customers, but they're super disengaged. They don't really have any connection with the brands, a strong connection with the brand, and it's a lot harder to build a community. So it's all about like how strong that relationship with the brand is, and it can be so different. So it's not really like a set kind of, you need at least 10,000 customers or at least this much, or at least like it's just, we would need to kind of have a conversation with the marketing team or the founder or whoever kind of makes the decision on the platform. And we've been working with hundreds of brands, and we have a very good experience in terms of who tends to succeed and who might need to come back at a later stage kind of thing. So we don't want to bring on brands that are not successful, and so we do try to do a strong due diligence in terms of what brands we think will be successful. But yeah, so my answer is just like it's very hard to give a specific number for what size your customer database or at what stage. It's at the stage where you feel like, okay, this community, like the vibes I'm getting off my customers and my newsletter and the engagements I'm getting is really high. This is a community I definitely could should start to nurture, kind of thing.
And what would be the dedication from the team side?
Sorry, what would be the?
Dedication. So who will be responsible for building a community when you would just start? Is it the social media manager or who is it?
No, it needs to be the marketing team. Companies are structured so differently, but it needs to be someone that kind of has the resources and the time. You need to be able to spend a few hours per day to kind of answer messages from them and come up with new missions and so on and so forth. So it takes a bit of time. It takes about a bit of creative thinking and process and just the general management of the community, approving different mission submissions and creating new missions and stuff like that. So yeah, you need to kind of have it's not something that like a CEO can do on the side of running the whole show kind of thing. You need to have a team kind of dedicated to this sort of marketing, social media marketing, influencer marketing, creative marketing, whatever.
Yeah, and this brings us to
Thomas, what would you add to this quote?
No, you can't add anything to Gary Vee. Like that's
Okay.
he's a smart man.
Yeah.
I'll add that. He's
Yeah.
definitely a smart man. So yeah, now building a sustaining community is a never-ending part of doing business. Like it's always been like that, right? It's people, products, purchasing. It's about like if you didn't have any input, like you wouldn't know what to buy, right? It's all about what you buy is all based on the input that you get from the surroundings and your experiences. So it's definitely a never-ending story, and it's always going to be like that. Like that's never going to change.
They asked me on a podcast one time a question. They said like, okay, which platform are you putting the most focus in? And I thought about it for a second and I was like, okay, are we talking about really long term? And they said, yes, like you're investing long term. And I said, forget the platforms, focus on the community. If you have a community and you work around the community, like you explained moments ago, any platform that comes around, you have an army to send to the platform to start engaging there. And this is, I think, the most powerful thing a community can do. It doesn't matter where, like if you know it's there, like if there's an opportunity on the platform and the people who are on the platform really start hacking the platform themselves, all you have to do is give them an opportunity there. And this is what a community allows you to do.
100%. Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. It's so important, and especially now with like third-party cookies and all that kind of stuff, and it's so many more restrictions on that side. So that first-party connection that you have with your consumer, it's becoming more and more valuable. And it's baffling to me that not more brands are already seeing it, that they need to engage more with their customers and the people that already have a relationship with your brand. Like that's where it all lies. These can be your hundreds of thousands of marketing soldiers on the ground talking about your brand. And some of the most successful brands in the world are built this way. One of the most successful skincare, the biggest skincare company in the US is a company most people haven't even heard of. It's called Rodan Fields. It's the biggest skincare company in the US, and they only do like multi-level sales. Like it's built on people selling to their friends, like Avon, like Tupperware kind of thing. They have several 100,000 agents that kind of call themselves agents, but ambassadors that go out there and sell their products. And
entrepreneurs.
They built it to a multi-billion-dollar business over the course of 10, 15 years. And it's a company most people haven't even heard of it because they don't have big ads and stores and this and that. They just have this community out there selling to friends, and boom, suddenly they're the biggest.
The power behind it. This really brings us to our last topic, and it's the creator economy on TikTok. We talked about this already throughout the session, so this will basically be a summarization of the things we said in most part. But this is one that when you read it at first, you're like, oh yeah, true. But when you start to dissect it and really try to understand this question, we're not expecting a perfect answer here. So what we want to do here, guys, is just like touch on on the topic of how thin is the line becoming on a platform like TikTok, where there all this like native content is out there, to determine, okay, am I now watching a TikTok from a brand, or am I watching a TikTok from a creator? What do you think about that? Like, what will happen in this era of TikTok, considering this topic? What do you think?
Well, yeah, we kind of slightly touched on this when we spoke yesterday, and it's
a tough one.
It's a tough one, and you said, and you were mentioning that, like, creators were kind of becoming brands themselves as well, and that it's a fine line to kind of define, what comes from a brand and what comes from the creator. Yeah, I think, one thing that I see is, of course, the opportunity for the creators, right? They're becoming such powerful forces, and you see it more and more that, creators are also creating their own brands. And I think that's something we're definitely going to see more of, especially on TikTok. So, yeah, it's just, the opportunities there are endless, and they're massive. I remember, I think it was last year, it was that was a live shopping event. I'm not sure what platform it was on, but some Chinese platform where, I think they're called the Lipstick Boys or something, that sold, they sold for $2 billion in 24 hours on a live shopping. And I think that, I think they sell lipstick. I guess so, but I just remember they're called the Lipstick Boys, and they do live shopping. So it's I think we'll definitely see a lot more of that coming as well.
Yeah, and the rules of how will brands make sure that the creators are like really representing their brand well are kind of disappearing. Like the brands are now asking the creators, like, you tell us how to present the product.
Yeah, I think, and it needs to be more free, right? It needs to be, and that's what TikTok is about. It's more natural, it's more authentic. Like, it's not just you come on Instagram and you see some influencer at some beautiful hotel in the Maldives, and it says an ad, like, you just know everything's paid for. You just like, it's just picture perfect, yada yada. But on TikTok, you just feel like it's a bit more just like, it's more fun and creative. It might not be super on brand, but that's just acceptable. I think we're going to see, a lot of massive brands also just kind of, understand this is the way it's going. Like, we can't control this, and let's just kind of try to control the narrative, at least, and try to control the type of influencer we work with. But what the content ends up looking like, and exactly what the content becomes, is something that we just kind of need to leave to the creative.
Yeah, that's true. And like,
have you guys been doing like any like live, like, that's the thing that we haven't tapped into at all, like the whole live aspect of TikTok? Is that something that you guys have?
When you're trying to go live, it's really about the creator you're going with live. So I think in terms of using this feature, you really need to establish a well relationship with the creator. That's why we haven't tried it yet, because we work with brands who are like in the first stages of TikTok marketing or advertising. So this feature is, I'm so glad you mentioned it, because I think it's going to be extremely powerful, and it's really well connected to this next question. So creator collabing, is it something you view as a short-term or a long-term? And in the long term, live shopping, definitely, because the live videos just pop up on your screen and you just like start watching them. But the real challenge here will be, is the creator interesting enough for me to stop and see them? So even I, as a consumer of the platform, need to have some kind of a relationship with the creator for me to start watching them. It's not just going to be easy, like, okay, we'll use this creator who hasn't done anything with our brand yet, and he'll just go live shopping about our products. I don't think so. I think it's got to be more kind of a like, I'll go live tomorrow and I'll present to you my favorite products I use for my skincare routine, for example. And then boom, your brand pops up. And like, let's say you pay 200, 500 euros for this, for the creator to go live, and you get exclusiveness out of it. So the creator is only presenting your products. And this is something that will take a bit more than just working with a creator. And I think if you have a community, this will be much easier to do, because this might be a mission on Brandbassador, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is how I see it. Maybe Jure can add something, or yourself.
Yeah, I think it's also like a long-term, mid-term or long-term game, because I think a lot of businesses right now are trying to figure out TikTok, and we're getting a lot of awareness, a lot of new following, a lot of engagement on the platform. But I think, yeah, it's a trend that will definitely come also to Europe. I know when studying like this Asian market, that key opinion leaders there and doing live is working amazingly. Slowly also turning it on in US. So I believe, yeah, in the midterm and the long term, it will definitely come in Europe as well. But Jure, as you mentioned, I'm also a huge believer that the credibility, or actually the awareness of the person that will do the presentation and how they're going to tell a story is a key for success.
Yeah, and that's of course like where agency like you guys come in and can be very, very valuable for a brand. Yeah, you know, that's kind of starting off. It's kind of just getting it right from the get-go saves you a lot of time and a lot of money. So
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes, and yeah, we're really looking forward to working with you guys moving forward as well.
Awesome, man. It's just like in terms of creativity, that's where I admire you guys the most. It's like, this is where we want to be the leaders on the market for TikTok. We want to really be that creative agency that will, I mean, performance agency first, but with some additional creativity that will allow us to like really create this space where we can then push the content forward and stuff. So I'm really glad you said that. Yeah. So, and like, let's look in the future a bit. This is also a tough question, but it's the more fun it is, the easier it gets when you think about it. And in terms of like, it's 2024, so 2 years from now, I might have written 25, it doesn't really matter. But what does a successful TikTok creator do? How do you determine that somebody is a good TikTok creator? What do you think it will look like then?
Yeah, no, just imagine how crazy the content's gonna be in 2 years from now. Like, people are just like gonna do crazier and crazier stuff to get attention. But no, I think it's gonna, you know, evolve into just, you know, higher and higher quality, and these, you know, kids and people around the world are just gonna, you know, improve on their creative skills and their editing skills, and there's just going to be, you know, a lot of really, really cool content out there. So I think it's yeah, I think a successful TikToker will be the most creative people, and it's going to be a lot of fun content to watch. And yeah, what does a successful TikTok creator do? And I think if you first become a successful TikTok creator, then I guess you start a brand, and off you go. But no, I think that's definitely it's about the most creative content, most fun content.
Yeah. What do you think, Jure?
What I would add is that he or she will be much older than we think, because I think the platform will age much faster than Facebook and Instagram did. Because I think also right now we actually are discussing with people, and the usual question is, isn't TikTok only for kids? And that the majority of the audience is from 13 to 17. But we also see, like, in some markets that actually 60% of the audience that is on the platform is above 35 years old. So I believe what I would add to that is that he or she will be much older than we think. What about you, Jure?
Well, I think we must not forget about the sounds on the platform, because I know, like, this might be a topic for a whole different webinar, but just in terms of owning your stuff and promoting your music, like, it's not just about the video creators, it's also about the artists who will be, if one sound goes viral, you basically unlocked a huge community of users who heard your song. And what TikTok allows you to do now is there's a feature when you click on the sound, you can listen to the whole song on iTunes. And it's actually giving you the opportunity to do marketing without putting in a single cent. And I think this is where we must not forget about the sound part of the platform. And I agree with you guys, the creativity will be like the most important one here. And there was actually a question that popped up in the Q&A. What type of visual has higher engagement and conversion rate on TikTok ads? And here, the early stages of the platform we are now, the creatives that look the most like trends that are currently rolling out have the higher engagement rate and the best. Like in terms of conversion rate, I wouldn't be like as confident to say it, but in terms of view time, like popular sounds and like popular trends people are doing are something that makes the feed look not so adsy. And we talked about this yesterday, Thomas, that like you're really passionate about doing marketing in a way that it doesn't look like an ad. And I think this is the type of content that will win on the platform long term. And the creators should really think in this way. I just got to be authentic and put out content and the brands will notice me. And when I work with a brand, I'll keep that authenticity present. And I also learn some selling and storytelling skills to make it more successful. That would be my 5 cents on it. Yeah. And that actually, guys, brings us to the last question we have before we go into the Q&A section. So we talked about this before. And again, I think you already answered this, but in case you want to add something here, I know you might like come up with something. So what are Brandbassador's plans to tap in the creator community we're talking about right now?
Yeah, no, I think we've touched on it in a lot of the questions throughout. It's for us, it's about really focusing on building new, fun, creative tools for the community to go out and use and bring value to the brand, right? So I think, yeah, depending on the platform, just coming up with cool tools for the community to use that really empowers the community to drive awareness for the brand. If we're able to do that in a successful way, like we've been up until now, and we have a lot of fun ideas on the roadmap that I can't talk directly about, but one of the features we have that we're actually launching now in the beta is like we're enabling the creator community to build their own little small web shop with products from the brands and stuff like that, which is quite cool. So that's a new thing that's coming over the next few months, I think.
Wow. So it's the focus is going on the gasoline of the platform, I see. So the creators, that's awesome.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So you're actually doing it like kind of in a way that this Web 3.0 is like showing, giving the people the more power and more like benefit from being a good creator.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. I think this will be a really successful step, and I'm really looking forward to see this in action.
Yeah. So we're
Awesome. So yeah, brings us to the Q&A. I have some written here, and like we already answered the one that also popped up in the a couple of minutes ago, but I found this one really interesting, and it's: how can I learn storytelling and selling skills if I am a creator? What would you say to a person like that?
How can I learn storytelling skills as a creator?
And selling skills. How can I polish that?
Yeah. Well, it's I guess it needs to come natural, right? To start with, of course, it needs to kind of be something that you're passionate about. It needs to be, because it needs to be a natural thing.
So would it be like pick a brand that you like?
Yeah, but I think just inspiration, right? Finding inspiration from other people is nothing you ever did was invented by yourself. You're it's all a result of the input that you've gotten from the people around you. So if we never got any input, we would die in the first few weeks of our lives. So it's all about getting input from the people, people that you admire and people that are creative, and then you'll put that into your little bowl up here, and then that will be mixed around. Then you'll pop out an idea that's the combination of all that stuff, and hopefully even more creative and more fun. So I think just looking at content, getting input from other people on content and stuff like that, I think is definitely very valuable.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think a great hack you can do here is follow the right people on social media, right? Make it like natural to come to your feed and just like learn as you are scrolling or something like that. That's a good answer. So if any creators are listening, this is a really good point. This is how you get better. And also doing stuff yourself. So you get that like confidence, which is a huge part of selling and storytelling. Like you need to make the people believe that you really enjoy the product. Would you add something here, Jure?
No, but I actually found like a really interesting question here.
Go.
So I think Thomas, it's about one founder of the brand, and actually started on the local market, and he needs an advice about how to start building a community. So his plan is to also, as I see, to expand in other markets. What would you actually recommend him? To start a local community and then expand internationally, or start internationally right away?
I think you need to kind of build the foundation. The platform needs to be that, this is something that's going international. Like I think that's always needs going to be in your head right now as you're starting a company. But that being said, in the beginning, when you start a company, start a brand, you need to be hands-on. Like, you need to be doing all the heavy lifting and all the hard work, and you need to use the resources that are around you, the network and the people that you know and stuff like that. So it's much easier for success if the first people I sold my belt buckles to was my closest friends. And then, they told their friends, and then they wanted, and then they told their friends, and then they told their friends. And then I went at the after ski and I told 500 friends, and then they told their friends, so it kind of, it starts from you as an epicenter as a way. And then, if it's a good product and a product that people love, then it's gonna spread and spread fast potentially. And then you have to have a platform that allows you to go international, because things quickly spread across borders now, like social media, TikTok, everything, of course. So yeah.
Awesome, great answer.
Cool. Let's hop on two more, guys. Okay, then we'll wrap this up. So this one is interesting. How important are briefs when it comes to growing your community of creators?
In terms of like briefing your
I think it's about briefing.
I think it depends on so if you're talking about the community of creators, that would be like, in our when I talk about community, I talk about so many more than just creators, right? So for us, creators would be like a segment within your community. Like you have a community of people, and then a segment of those would be creators at different levels. Some people won't even create content for you. They might just be sharing content or doing other potential missions. But the content creators, I think it's important to give a clear brief, but you shouldn't put too much too much into it. Like it needs to have the opportunity of creativeness, especially as we talked about on TikTok. So I think briefs are important, but keep them short and snappy and open for personal interpretation to some extent.
Allow creativity, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So Jure, do you have another interesting one in mind?
No, you go. You shoot yours.
This one is a bit of like a salesy one, but like we can try it. So this one's actually from Jan from Poland.
Yeah.
I have a €100,000 marketing budget. What percentage of that should go into community building activities?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
100,000. Well, just kind of break down quickly. Like our platform, depending on the different packages you buy, costs anything from $1,800 dollars. So I don't know. Let's talk dollars now. $1,800 per month, up to $5,500 per month, depending on the amount of support that you get from our team. So there you have that, as that's $20,000 on the platform. And then you need to have a budget for engaging this community, for paying them. And if you pay people with store credits, you basically, if you spend $1 in cash and your gross margin is 70, then that's only 30 cents in cash. So if you spend $10,000, that's actually only $3,000 in cash. If you spend $20,000 in giving out free store credit, which is $1,800 per month or something in store credits, that's only $6,000 so in cash. So the nice thing is that you can reward people here with store credits rather than having to give them pure cash, which gives you a bit more leeway in a way. And of course, you can also give them free products. So depending on what your company does, how big your potential community is, like you have a community already, you have a social media following, you have customers, you have people in your newsletter. So spending out of 100,000, spending $30,000 on community marketing, I think is for sure something a brand like that should be able to do. Because it's basically, you have to believe in top of funnel marketing, right? You have to believe in the fact that, I think it's something called Rule of 7 or something, that where you have to view you have to see a brand or product up to 7 times before you end up actually buying it or remembering it, kind of thing. So that top of funnel is actually really, really, really important. And that's where a community can be a really valuable part of it, because you can get thousands of people to share your content rather than just one ambassador or one big influencer kind of thing. So yeah.
It's really down to context, right? In terms of questions like that, it's really hard to give a straight answer. So yeah. Well, guys, this brings us to the end of this awesome episode. Like, really, Thomas, thank you so much for everything you shared with us and just the vibes you gave us. I loved it. I think Yuri loved it too. Hopefully you loved it also. And as said, like, we would love to discuss some future plans and stuff we can do together to help each other out. And thank you once more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you guys too for organizing this. It was a really nice chat. It's an interesting topic. I think you guys will be extremely successful with your new endeavor here, and it's a great market to roll into, and you guys obviously know a lot about it and have a lot of passion for it, which I think is the main thing. So thanks to Yuda and Yuda. It was very
awesome.
Very nice.
Thomas,
very nice to chat with you.
Is there anything that you would actually like to maybe tell or ask the people that are watching right now, watching the recording, or just watching one clip of the recording on the social media channels? Now is the time.
Now's the time. Well, no pressure. Big moment.
You have 30 seconds.
30 seconds. No, but I think TikTok is a platform that you need to be on now if you're going to be successful in social media marketing. Working with agency could be a fantastic way to launch it. So I think working through an agency like you guys could be a really smart way of getting really launched on TikTok. And if anyone listening is gets in contact with you guys, then we have we can offer them a discount on the Brandbassador platform. So if you're interested, take contact with the boys here, and they will let you know what that looks like.
That's awesome. Appreciate this really much. Thanks also to, I guess, part of your team is also listening. Thanks to Amy, Maeve, like for helping with all the organizations. So really appreciate you guys.
Same to you. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thomas.
Everyone. Cheers.
Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks also to everybody who's been here. I see you're slowly leaving. So until next time, we'll keep this going. Right, Yura?
Yeah, we'll keep this rolling. I think it was a great first episode. I actually learned a lot just listening to Thomas and his approaches. out of this world that we know regarding marketing and how to actually approach it. So it really opens up the mind to listen a founder like that and how he successfully built his company and how what they're doing at the Brandbassador is really incredible.
Yeah, and just like the creativity that guy has is amazing. Like the stories, and man, it inspired me like to really be even more creative with what we're doing. So get ready for a wild fucking ride, guys. It's like you won't
Love it.
stop us.